If you're in the market for a second-hand Corolla, you're going to be spoilt for choice because Toyota have made over 45 million Corollas since the mid-1960s. And this guy, the 11th generation or 2012 to 2019 model, was one of the world's highest selling cars when it was new, meaning that there's heaps of them on the second-hand market. But even though there are loads of them out there, should you buy one at all? Well, let's find out. Before we continue, can you do us a favor? Can you subscribe to our channel and make sure you hit the bell icon so we can let you know when we're posting new content? And while you're at it, why not follow us on Instagram and Facebook? Also, if you want to skip ahead, just use the time codes or the links below, but let's get into it. This generation Corolla was available as a wagon, a sedan and a hatch. In this video, we're going to be focusing on the hatch, but if you've got your heart set on a sedan or the wagon, don't freak out because most of the features and impressions are going to be the same on all three. This generation of Corolla received a bit of a facelift or a freshen up both in mid-2015 and again in early 2017, and it was available in multiple different variants, with each progressive model receiving a few extra bits and pieces. But look, while we can't go into every graphic detail about absolutely every different spec in this video for obvious reasons, we have collected and put all of that information into our handy ReDriven cheat sheets. Our cheat sheets are invaluable as they provide a full breakdown of the car's model range, its common problems, what you need to look out for before you hand over your hard-earned cash, how much of that cash you should be handing over, and so much more. Check it out in the link below. The entire Corolla range comes with the same 1.8 litre 4-cylinder petrol engine, putting power through the front wheels via either a CVT or manual transmission. In 2016, a hybrid model was introduced, adding some electric drive to the powertrain, giving the already pretty frugal Corolla some phenomenal fuel economy. These Corolla hatches were available in 5 different trim models, starting with the bare basics Ascent and then going up to this car, the Ascent Sport, which brought with it 16-inch alloy wheels instead of the steel hubcapped ones on the Ascent, halogen headlights, this very stylish kind of chrome treatment around here, and fog lights. The current model Corolla, which, let's be honest, is a bloody sexy looking thing, this looks good. Like, it's a good looking little car. It's not like supermodel good looking, but it looks good enough to be like Insta famous, not properly famous. Size-wise, it is textbook perfect hatch size. Some newer hatches on the market now are almost like small station wagons, but this generation Corolla is just about perfect. Big enough to have some presence on the road, but still small enough to be great in traffic and fit into small parking spots. As far as quality goes, look, it's a Toyota, so this thing is built like a tank. All the panel gaps are really good. There's not going to be any rust issues, and even after a few knocks from trolleys and life, it's still holding up really well. Well, this is one area that you're going to notice a difference between the first generation and second generation of this particular model Corolla. This second gen has a far nicer interior. There's nothing wrong with the original interior, but this just feels a whole lot nicer inside. But remember, this is a Toyota Corolla and not like an Audi S3, so it's not exactly luxurious in here. There's still lots of kind of hard, shiny plastics and this weird, I don't know what that is, it's like a patent effect or something, but everything still feels really strong. All the buttons and controls still feel really positive and strong, and this car does get a bit of a workout, but still feels really tight and kind of new. Actual driving position's pretty good. Like, I'd like a little bit more reach on the steering wheel, but I'm just being really picky, and there's a good amount of seat adjustments to get just the right driving position. The actual seats are really comfortable. The Ascent and Ascent Sport don't have the upgraded sport seats like you do get in the other models, but they're pretty cushy, and this car has had a bit of wear and tear, and the fabric still wears really nicely. It's not too dirty, it's not marked up. Well done, Toyota. I'm 6'2", this is in my driving position, and it's a little bit cramped. It's not overly spacious, but at the same time, what do you expect from a small hatch? Knees are up against the back of the seat, a little bit of foot room, not a whole lot really. Decent amount of headroom, but like, it's a small hatch, it's a Corolla. It does the job, it's fine. Now, this car is from 2017, and sat-nav was a $1,000 option, which this particular car doesn't have, and it also doesn't come with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but it does have Bluetooth connectivity, which actually connects really, really fast and is super reliable. Sound quality from the stereo is pretty good. Like, it's not amazing, it's not going to win any awards, but it does a decent job, and actually navigating it is really simple via the touchscreen. This car does have climate control, but it's not dual zone. If you want dual zone, you're going to have to spec up to a ZR or a hybrid, but it's cold and hot when you need it to be. Cruise control, a reversing camera, parking sensors, and remote central locking were all standard. boot is actually the smallest in its class, and as an adult male, yeah, I'm pretty cramped in here, but you can fit a decent amount of stuff. Practicality in the back, you've got some seat pockets. There's a little holder here for definitely not a phone. There's no air conditioning vents back here, it's a bit of a key point, but you do have some cup holders and door bins, and they'll hold a large size bottle. And in the armrest, another 2 cup holders. Now, I know it looks like it's on a bit of an angle, but they're actually not. The base of these are flat, so when you put your cup in there, it doesn't tip forward all over the beautiful upholstery. Beautiful's probably pushing it, it's just grey. And for kids in the back, you've also got some ISOFIX points. Up front, you've got a couple of cup holders here. You've got some decent sized door bins, again with like good sized bottle holding cup holders. There's storage in here, storage below there. There's some storage up here with your USB and auxiliary inputs and a 12 volt or 120 watt power outlet. And a little storage spot over here for, I don't know what you put in that. Maybe like cotton buds or something, I don't know. But yeah, good storage, good sized glove box. It's practical. Like any used car, it's very important to know how they are mechanically, like what can go wrong, are they reliable, what does it take to fix it, what's it cost to fix it. And I'm not a mechanic, but we have a mechanic on staff, so it's over to Jim.
To get a really good idea of what goes wrong with these things, I had to go back through our records. And what I found is that there really isn't that much that goes wrong with them. We see a lot for regular servicing and rego checks and things, but very few come in for actual repairs. They have a few things go wrong, like the odd water pump problem or a radiator or something, but generally speaking, $200, $300, $400 is really all it ever needs. Overall, they're good, they're solid and reliable. A really good thing.
So an optional safety pack was available with these cars. It had a front collision warning, lane departure warnings, and autonomous emergency braking. And look, that's fantastic. Should you try and get a car with the optional safety pack? Well, yeah, it's going to make you safer, but you know what? It's not a deal breaker at all.
Without the optional safety pack, you still get heaps of airbags, anti-lock brakes, electronic stability control, and a 5-star ANCAP safety rating. So even to today's standards, it's still a really safe car.
What's it like to drive? Well, it's just easy. As far as sheer performance goes, look, it's definitely not a sports car, but it's not embarrassingly slow. It's not going to be a nightmare to overtake cars ahead. And it's plenty zippy enough for around town and out on these country roads. But if drag racing is high on your priority list, maybe look at something else. Handling is really nice. Actually, what's impressive is even after this many years and a fair few Ks, it absorbs bumps really, really nicely. It's very smooth, very controlled. It's not sort of boatish at all, and it's definitely not firm, kind of like sports car hard. It's just nice. As far as steering feel goes, look, it is a bit light and vague, but that lightness does help around town when you're parking and maneuvering into tight locations. This car has the CVT automatic transmission, which when you're up and running is fine, but when you're cruising around town, especially at really low speeds, it can get a little confused when you're just leaving and going off the mark. It's almost like it's going, what are we doing? Oh, we're going forward. Oh, okay. It's only a couple of seconds, but it's just a little jiggly. But again, once you're up and running, it's fine, it's great. Actual visibility is really good. There aren't any major blind spots back there, and it's really easy to judge the overall dimensions of the car, which makes parking and driving in traffic a breeze. And even after a few years and many thousands of kilometres, there's no rattles or squeaks. Everything feels really tight and strong. It almost feels like a new car.
In Australia, a base model 2013 Ascent with relatively high kilometres will set you back around about $9,500, whereas a low kilometre 2018 top spec ZR will still ask around about $24,000. In the middle, you should be able to pick up a 2015 Ascent Sport like this with all the midlife updates and relatively low kilometres for around about 15 grand. What's it cost to run? Well, not much. It's fuel efficient, especially if you get the hybrid model. Fuel consumption is a claimed 6.1 litres per 100 kilometres for the more traditional engine, and a very impressive 4.1 litres per 100 kilometres for the hybrid. Corollas came with a 3-year, 100,000 kilometre warranty, and while servicing is recommended every 6 months or every 10,000 kilometres, if parts are required, they should be relatively inexpensive and readily available. But hey, we're talking about a Corolla here, so nothing should go wrong in the first place.
In a word, yes. If you're looking at getting a small car, a Corolla should be very, very high up your list. And personally, I'd recommend getting an SX with an optional safety pack. But if you are on a bit of a budget, these Ascent Sports are fantastic. And look, I know, okay, it hasn't got the Euro chic or appeal of, say, a Volkswagen Golf or a Renault Megane, and they're not really very exciting, but it's just the sensible choice. If you're looking at getting a Corolla, just bloody get one. They're awesome. So there you have it, the 11th generation Corolla. What do you think? Did we miss anything? Would you buy one? Let us know in the comments section below. We'll see you next time.